All right, hey everybody, we're back here at Detroit Autorama right here with our friend Sean Puz.
Yes.
With this amazing build when we walk by it, the EXCALIBUR. I don't even know where to start. Well, I mean, how did you start? What is this thing?
Well, that's a good question. Most people ask, what did it start as? And I said, well, sheet metal and tubing.
Yeah.
It's all my design. It's all handmade. It's all my engineering. I just threw out everything. It's just started all brand new.
Right.
I wanted something that, go big or go home. I was going to build off the international radical rod, build off, drive off.
Okay.
10 months.
I saw the trophy in the back.
Yeah. You have 10 months to build a vehicle, and then take it to Lincoln, Nebraska, and drive it 1,500 miles to SEMA in Las Vegas.
So you actually drilled this 1,500 miles
well,
too?
With COVID last year, that didn't happen, but changed it all. But that was the premise.
That was the premise of the build.
Yeah. So, like I said, go big or go home. I figured, I did a similar truck in steel, and then I figured, well, let's do one out of aluminum and stainless.
Yeah.
And knock it out of the park.
That's
go
amazing.
mid-engine, and let it rip.
What is? I gotta know. What is the cab? What did it start out as?
Sheet metal. Yeah. No.
So it's just all sheet metal. It's not. Everybody thinks, you walk by it and, you first look at it, that was like a mini Freightliner or something,
Most people think that. It's not, like Kenworth people, it's not. It's my design.
It's your design 100%.
It all starts with the windshield.
It all starts with the windshield.
I designed the windshield. I get what I call the attitude right.
Yeah, it looks like two eyebrows out of a cartoon.
Yes.
Looks like the old Bugs Bunny cartoon,
Right.
Not dating ourselves or anything, but you remembered it right away.
I do.
So, but yeah, it looks like the Angry Bird eyes coming at you, and that's how you started the build.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started with the windshield. I get the windshield frame, and I do a lot of math, with the engine in the back, the engine, transmission, rear end, and then I get the cab. I sit down on a floor, mark out, okay, my feet are here. And
mark it down and
get the
length.
Cab. Then I start building a chassis.
Okay.
Then I start building aluminum structure for the cab.
How did you come up with the length of this thing? I mean, is that?
Well, like I said, it's just
that's how it all planned on there. Okay.
Yeah, you start with the wheels and rear end, transmission, engine. I take from other pieces that I have, other cars.
Sure.
And so, it's a little bit of a guess. I mean, I'm like, okay, theoretically this is going to work.
Yeah.
And then you start building, and it worked out.
And see where it worked out.
Yeah.
It is just the way you came up with the design, and we were here earlier, and you opened the door for me.
Yeah, thanks.
It's just amazing where you hit everything on it, and it just started. I mean, even the front bumper on the thing is just amazing how you did it. So now, like in the front here, is that a functioning grill where you don't need no airflow there because the motor's in the back?
Yeah, that's correct. It is now the grill's vestigial. I mean, it's just there for looks. It's 1-inch thick aluminum honeycomb.
Okay.
With a solid back, which I've never seen on a grill. So
something new you wanted to throw out there.
I always try to do something different.
Sure. Okay.
So it kind of looks almost like carbon fiber, but yeah.
Right. That's what it looked like when we first came out.
Yeah, it serves no purpose. I put a Lexan in front of it because even a bug will dent it. So
okay.
I had to protect that, so I put the Lexan in front of it.
Okay.
But the radiator is in the back. The cooling system, we run a Durelli cooling system.
Yep.
And it's not even really a radiator. It's fluid coolers, all made into
all
a radiator.
Made through. Really?
Yeah.
It's all made in the coolers?
It is.
So it was a cooling system. I was looking at that, checking out the design and everything on there. Your company, One Off Customs, is this something you would always do, or is this what is your history?
The history, it started as actually badass rat rods. I was more of a rat rodder at first. But then my rat rods, I had Olin shocks, quick change rear ends, LS engines. So rat rodders.
So you were a little above grade rat rodder. You weren't the weld on guy, let's throw a bunch of stuff out of the back shop, weld it on and go to the car show. You were kind of above the grade already.
But I tried to make it look old.
Yeah.
And so what happened with that is, the rat rodders don't like me. And then hot rodders don't like me. So what I did...
Wait, now you're going to tell me somebody in the industry, some people don't like each other in this whole big industry we have?
Believe it or not.
I'm shocked.
Believe it or not. Like the rat rods, you park a rusty rat rod next to a nice car, they get all upset.
Oh yeah, it's...
Because rat rods get attention.
Yeah.
So what I did is I made a term called rat mod, which is rat rod style, modern technology.
Okay.
And rat rodders.
I like that.
Hot
That's
rodders,
very cool.
I'm right down the middle.
Yeah.
So I tend to follow that style.
Okay.
And even though this is like a full custom,
right? Yeah, this one kind of went over the top.
To it.
We kind of went over the top on this one, and I mean all the little identities, and even one of our staff noticed, like even the headlights. That's correct. They're off. They're a motorcycle headlight.
Daymaker,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Okay. Unbelievable. I mean, and just the whole cab, just the way it crouches, it just looks mean looking coming at you.
Yeah.
It's really got a mean, aggressive look to it.
Yeah, and I'm really proud of that. It's my design. You know, and people think, no, it's not a Peterbilt, whatever. And like I said, it starts with the windshield. I start with attitude, and I try to push it the rest of the way through.
Okay. Now, one of one. One-off custom. So you'll never build another one. You'll never build another one for someone else, exact same replica, right?
That's correct. If somebody wants the same exact truck, it may look the same, but it won't be this. Like when I draw, I literally draw it on my table.
Right.
And when I draw it on the table, after it's done, it's erased.
Okay. How many people are in your crew, this staff, that made something like this?
That made something like
this?
Well,
I mean, your shop, like a lot. We're in Detroit. I mean, come on. I mean, a lot of these cars are built with these custom shops with crews and like that. How big a shop do you have to build something like this?
My shop's very small. I'm just a nobody, you know, it was a hobby, and now it's a business. My wife and I, she's behind the truck.
Okay.
That's it. Maybe I had another guy helping me, a great hand, but unfortunately I had to get another job at another place. Essentially, just me. I built this myself.
Okay.
For the most part.
And how long does a build like this one, how long did this build take?
A typical build, now I had this driving in 10 months for the build off, but it wasn't this extensive.
Sure.
After the build off, we won that, and I improved on it over the last year. But a build like this is going to take at least a year.
Okay.
You know.
At least a year.
Yeah.
Okay. And the stainless, the polish work, everything. After you're all fabbed and everything's done here into it, how long did it take to fab and seam? I mean, people don't know the stainless world here.
Yeah.
So what are you talking hours in? You have a chassis, you have everything. Now let's build the body.
You're right.
So you've got that. I mean, just the idea. I mean, the fabrication is uncanny. I mean, it's crazy to me.
Believe it or not, it almost takes enough time, or as much time, is to fabricate the body, and then from that point, it almost takes as much time to finish it out.
Sure.
Believe it or not, it takes that much time.
Really?
And this being the stainless is on the bottom, and it's polished aluminum on the top. And aluminum scratches. It's hard to deal with. It's easy to work with.
But it's very delicate. It's very delicate.
Yes.
I mean, even to get it ready for a show, and even that interior, that amazing interior that you have on there, with all the polished pieces right there. I mean, that was all your design.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, just the inside, all the brushed aluminum, everything in there, and the fabric is just the interior alone. I mean, there's got to be thousands of man-hours in there.
Thank you. Yeah, there's plenty. I like to use copper in my builds, copper and brass, different metals.
I love the two-tone. I noticed it went in the interior, but you left the outside, no copper on the outside.
Yeah.
Was there a reason for that?
Yeah, because you know, that's a delicate balance of like, what's enough, what's too much.
Oh yeah, we see a lot of guys going way over with it.
Yeah, and I just didn't want to do it on the outside.
Yeah.
Between, you know, I said, you know what, I'm just, with the EXCALIBUR name, knight in shining armor.
Right,
you don't see different color on the armor, and I kind of went with that theme, so I just stuck with that.
I really like how you did that, because a lot of the builds that we get, a lot of builds that you see, or that we take a look at, they kind of, then they don't know where to stop.
Yeah.
Anywhere from the cars, the trucks, and even a lot of the custom bike world.
Right.
But I love the way you did that.
Thank you.
Sorry for interrupting that, but I was just.
No worries.
Yeah. So you left the copper on the inside.
Yeah, I left, and usually the interior is not real big for me. I'm more, you know, focused on the outside.
This one is a work of art.
I always struggle on the interior. I'm like, man, it's like out of my element, you know. But I do the best I can, and I think this one we kind of pulled it together a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely did. Now, your history before that, how many builds do you have underneath your belt?
This is the 5th one. Again, I started with badass rat rods.
Okay.
And that named itself. I did a 36 Chevy truck. It was all rusty, but I had the LS engine, shot. And everybody that looked at, well, not every, but most people that looked at that truck, they're like, man, that's badass. Yep. And I mean, you hear it like 1,000 times. You're like, you know what? They just named the truck. So then I went from there to badass rat rods, which is alive and good.
Which is alive, still on there.
But then, you know, I started growing, and I went with rat mod. I like, you know, I did a Packard, and I still pushed. I'm a dirt track racer.
Okay.
And I like using that performance.
Sure.
So then I went to Badass Rat Mod, kind of. I didn't officially name it. And then after that, I jumped to this. I'm like, you know what? We just need one-of-one customs, because it's the only one in the world.
It's the only one in the world, and that's the way you got it.
Yeah.
Tell us about the drivetrain, the motor in this thing.
Sure.
And kind of horsepower you're putting on. I mean, it's got to be. I saw the mark. It's what size are we talking again?
Yeah, it's 6.2 liter. It's the LS3 engine.
It's the LS3.
It's 376 cubic inch. I like the LS platform.
Yep.
This one here, I don't have power adders on it, which the last one had a blower on it.
Okay.
But this, I didn't want to overdo the engine and take away from the work itself.
Right.
You know, you can do twin turbo and blower, which is great, but I didn't want people to focus on the engine. I want people to focus on the truck itself.
Sure.
So this one's the LS3, 540 horsepower.
540.
Has a 700R.
Which is plenty on this, because what's the weight on this one?
2,800 pounds.
2,800 pounds.
So it is plenty.
That's got to be a lot of fun to drive.
It is. It is like a go-kart.
Yeah.
And then behind the engine, 700R Ford transmission,
Sure.
very small carcass. You know, it doesn't take a ton of horsepower, but it's small and light. And then after that, the whole engine, transmission, rear end's on a swing arm, and then that mates directly to a Franklin quick change rear end.
Okay.
So I can change a rear end gear in 5 minutes. Done.
Now, you were a dirt track racer.
Yes, sir.
So you had some chassis background on that.
Yes.
So when you did this, what are we talking for front suspension? I mean, is there a rack and pinion here? Is there, I mean, you don't just throw this out on the street and put it together to see if it's going to work.
Right,
So you had to have some kind of give and take there.
Yes, and that helped me out a lot with the dirt racing background.
There you go.
Right, I have a sweet rack and pinion here. They don't sponsor me yet, but it is a sweet rack and pinion.
I'm pretty sure you're going to get a little notification around here. Yeah, maybe, just maybe.
So that's basically a dirt track style rack and pinion, and I love them. I race with them. I like how they feel, and I want that on the street. So I use sweet rack and pinion. This particular truck has a front straight axle. All my other builds have independent suspension. That I make all that.
Oh, really? So you make it? So you have a full fab shop, machine
Yes,
shop?
I even make my own spindles.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I make my spindles, and this is a deep drop front axle. It's all laser cut. It's mirror finished stainless. Too bad you can't even see it.
Oh yeah, we saw it on there. So the other thing on this, I just got to know, is somebody would, I think I asked you before, what would it cost? And you already, you're like, nope, it's already sold. So something like this, a sticker price on something like this, which you never can put a full sticker on it.
Yeah.
What would a build like this status cost?
Another one like this is going to be $250,000, and it goes up from there. That's going to be, like a very basic,
right? And
then go up from there.
Yeah.
And the more busy I get, the higher it goes.
Oh yeah. Well, I guarantee there'll be more of these on the street.
It could be, and like we said, even if there's in the closer, it won't be the same. So
it won't be the same.
You're buying one of one.
Yeah,
only one in the world.
So the EXCALIBUR, you see this? I see a Hot Wheels car here one day. A toy made out of this thing one day. I mean, it's just, you can't see a kid push this one around the living room floor?
I can, and I got a little sour taste with the Hot Wheels thing. I don't want to get into that, but...
we'll skip that then.
We'll skip over that.
Yep. No, but it's, I mean, it's just remarkable.
Thank you.
When we first came in here, we saw it right away, and I said, we got to go over to that guy. It was
awesome.
it was just amazing. So thank you very much for your time, sir.
I appreciate it.
Love the truck, and yeah, I promise I won't touch it again. So we're doing good. So, all right, thanks a lot.